Welcome back, everybody. It's D with these tackle box. We have a little bit of a different type of episode for you today. We received messages that have to do with what do we have for sale here at these tackle box, what kind of lures we're selling, what kind of stuff that we have inventorized that we can go over with people, and it differs in a lot of different brands. I mean, we got everything from Rapala to Rebels, Head-Ins, Bombers, Cordell, whatever the older lures and the older companies, Creek Chub, things like that, Shakespeare. We have rods, reels, lures, all kinds of things that have to do with fishing. When it comes to fishing, fishing tackle, fishing gear, rods, reels, things like that, and of course tackle boxes as well. So I wanted to show y'all what we have on this board. This one is for our Head-In group, and we usually post them this way so that they can look and see what they want and kind of call out a column and number, and you know, we get a little bit of an easier transaction that way. Now, if you guys see something here that you like, don't be afraid to reach out to me. You already know how to contact me. We got phone number, email, all that stuff in the bio here on YouTube, but we also have contact information if you go look at eBay, or if you go through Facebook or whatever, and you can contact us there. eBay has a lot of our listings that we pass through the group, and if there's no interest within 48 hours, we switch them over to eBay. So sometimes I see you guys on my eBay that are in the group, and unfortunately once they're on eBay and they're bid, we have to pay fees and all that stuff. So I'll make them available to you through this video, and this will be a quick run through. We got A, B, C, D, E, and F, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me show y'all real quick what we have them sorted out here as, and I'll show you the colors and all the lures and stuff, because there's some pieces on here that are factory unfinished or factory unmarked, but we know where they come from, and we can provide that information if necessary. So stick with me, give me like a couple of minutes, and I'll get everything sorted out. I'll share it with you guys, and y'all can take a look at what we got here today. Okay, now let's get started here. I wanted to show y'all more or less the outline of what we got here. So it's columns 1, 2, 3, and 4, rows A, B, C, D, E, and we'll start off with 1, A, B, C, and D, E, F. First one on the top here is a redhead Tiny Lucky 13, followed closely by a Shiner scale, a redhead. That's, I believe, the man, I forgot the code for that. It's JRH or PRH, one of the two, and that is for your redhead Shiner scale. Then we have this really interesting Head-In Tiny Lucky 13, which is a factory piece that has not been added any hardware to it. If you notice, there's no hardware that was installed, so this piece is considered an unfinished factory piece, and I know where it came from, so if you guys have any questions, I can always provide that info. This one is a salesman sample that was on a keychain, I believe, and that was what they used to show people the codes WL for the Gray Ghost in a Head-In Tiny floating river rut. And these are all original. All this stuff is original, so don't be afraid to ask if you're interested in any of this stuff. These guys here is Baby Torpedo, a Head-In Baby Torpedo in the shad scale, which is the code SD. As you can tell, it doesn't have the eyes. It doesn't have the belly drilled out with for the bell on there. I mean, it has the holes, but it doesn't have any of the hardware on it. So these pieces are somewhat uncommon and harder to locate at this point in time. That color is exactly the same as this color, which is our Head-In Top Sonic, and these are also available for sale here to you guys through our channel as well. Row 2, or column 2, we have I believe this color, it's code NFL, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'm pretty sure somebody will correct it, but it's a chrome metallic with a, I believe it's coated red ribs on there, but they look more like a fuchsia pink magenta color on there. So this is your Head-In Tiny Tad, and as you can tell, it doesn't have the eyes, which makes it the earlier version. After that, I think they put the different colored eyes and stuff like that on those. This one is your Black Shore, which is always a very, very cool collectible color. And as you can see, I see something there, like they were gonna make a hole there for the hook, but it's placed over here closer to the front. This one has no eyeball pattern on it, but it's a great color for a great lure considering all head-ins. This one here, you have this is row C, column 2, and that one is a baby Lucky 13 in your, let me see, this is your oh man, I can't remember if it's a PRH. One of these is the PRH and one of them is a JRH, so we'll have to figure that one out for you guys. But regardless, this is a head-in baby Lucky 13. You can see the gold stenciling, beautiful pink inside there, black back, scales, all that good stuff. So moving right on to the next one. This guy here is a chugger, a baby chugger, or a chugger junior, and this one is in a clear color, but not the, well, clear color, clear pattern, but not the usual one that you see with the dot on the back. This is your X, yeah, I think it's just the X code for clear with no dot. The other ones always have that shad dot in the back. And in that same pattern we have the tiny chugger, and so you can see right through it there. And that's what makes these a little bit better, because they don't have that black dot that's usually out here somewhere. Then we have this one that we picked up from one of our members, and we were going to start the collection of these bass ones, and you can clean these up with little effort. You know, you can get you a you look at some of the earlier videos that we got, a little piece of magic eraser and some warm water soap, and that'll take those little marks right off. This is a really cool head-in tiny chugger in a baby bass pattern, so those are definitely a little bit tougher to find. This one here is actually coated correctly to the box. A Bullfrog 9520 plastic head-in chugger junior, but I don't know if you can see it there. It has a stamp from before. This is a factory paint over. On the bottom right there it says head-in chugger, and on the top here it says head-in chugger junior. And this is your Bullfrog, and it's not been fished or anything like that. It's just been in the box forever. So that one's a little bit more expensive because of the repaint that comes from the factory. This guy here is a little bit rarer because of the blended compared to the line like that on the redhead. This was, I think, a 1 year, 2 year only when it blended the head like that, the redhead. So that's a Zara 2. This is a head-in Zara 2. And you can actually look these up. They're not as common as a lot of other head-in, what is it, the baby Zaras and stuff like that. But this one in the blended version makes it a 1 or 2 year availability. Then we move on to this beautiful yellow shore with the scale belly. This is a head-in Zara 2. It has the yellow shore finish, but it's a clear see-through instead of the solid white belly. So that makes it a little bit different. Then we have something really odd here, which is a fluorescent yellow head-in head plug. And this is going to be your 5/8 ounce, because this is the larger one. Moving right along, we have another one of the redheads, but the one with the line right there that, you know, depicts the red and the white as opposed to the blended version. These are a little bit more common, but this is the older version. You can see the way that it's kind of curved like that. This one here as well. This is a head-in chugger, a spook. It's got the silver scale, see-through kind of body right there. That makes them a little bit tougher to find. They have another one with a different blush there. I believe the other blush is red. This one and this guy here are almost the same, kind of like a see-through finish. Golden eye. This is a Zara spook, and that's a Zara spook. But this one up here, if you notice, that seam goes right underneath the hardware. This is your earlier version swayback, your original head-in Zara spook, but the swayback that everybody seeks, not the ones that were marked swayback, which were produced in 2000, 2002, 2003, and 4. This one here, moving, we're going to jump this one because we already talked about that one, but I'll show y'all the finish though. So it's got a completely clear see-through body but you can see the black shore pattern on it with the black back, gold eyes, and it has this thud type of sound instead of the newer version kind of rattly stuff. This one has a little bit more of a dull sound. This one is a special one. This one also has the seam right under the hardware. It's a swayback original head and sour spook, but this is what they look for when they say, oh, I'm looking for the swayback, the originals. This was a seam that made these heads, or the front half of the lure, kind of pop up at an angle. That made them sway really cool when you're fishing them in the water. This is a BRS for brown crawdad, orange belly, beautiful lure, not cheap. This one here, same thing on the seam, the original swayback. This is your blue striper, and this one's not going to be an easy find as well. Very cool lures. You will find some on eBay, but they have that seam in front of the hardware. That means that they're newer. Those are a little bit more common, but the ones with the seam right there that goes right under the hardware, that's what you're looking for when you're talking about vintage Zara Spook swaybacks. Then we have this GRA, which is a code for fluorescent crawdad, and this is also your original head and Zara Spook. And you can't see it on here when it comes to the seam because of that pattern paint that it's got on it. It's got like a flat paint on it, but this is a newer version, and you can tell because of the eyeballs. But the color on this one is a little bit tougher, you know, especially for those collecting the GRAs. This one is I know it's got a little bit of hook marks on there, but this is your Zara Spook, and I forgot the name of the color for this one. It's I know the Campbell series has one like this, but this one I can't remember the name. It has some a specific name to this one for the color. But all of these right here are for sale, guys. All of these head and lures that we went through right now are all for sale, and they will be available on eBay after what is it, Tuesday afternoon. So if you see anything out of these that you want, that you like, holler at me and we'll let you know what we can do to get them to your door. In regards to the rest of these lures, guys, there's some of these that are a little bit more common than others, but we try to make them available to you in a different price range that works for pretty much everybody. So now, as you can tell, we always stay busy providing different types of lures for everybody to be able to enjoy the same hobby, and we try to make them not so expensive so that people can actually afford to buy them and use them or collect them or fill in spots in their collection. So guys, if you see something in here that you want today, I mean, there's tons of stuff that we have available all the time, but if y'all seen anything that we featured today that y'all are interested in, hit me up. We're occasionally going to be putting out videos where we're going to talk about what we have here for sale, because obviously we're a tackle box shop and we're a small local business, so we want to make sure that we can do more to get some of these lures into other people's hands as we continue to bring some more in, and we're always doing that year round. So until next time, this is D signing off. Fish out, people. Have fun. Take some of these lures out there. Go catch a fish. Talk to y'all later.